Welcome back to the Telos of Tech podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined with a Sony mic in AirPods Max Randy. How are you guys doing today?
Man, oh man. And AirPods Pro Drew.
That's me. We're all rocking different mics. And
Can we talk about headphones really quickly?
Absolutely.
No. I wasn't going to tell you, but because I didn't think I was going to be here today. But since we're here, I'm returning these.
Oh, what? The decision has been made. Okay.
Really?
We have an answer.
Not to your liking?
We have an answer. I am returning them. I am returning them because they don't fit my lifestyle.
How so?
You're really selling
Are you
them,
uncomfortable with taking them?
Not selling me on them now.
Well, no. Yeah. So I use them exclusively and happily for the podcast. These things are at 60 or something, or 57 from last week. I left them alone. Probably dropped the percentage. I think maybe. Let me take a look. I'll tell you right now. These things are great. So it dropped 2% from last.
They're great.
I'm returning them because I have more than one answer. The first one is they don't fit my lifestyle, but they work amazing for the podcast. I love doing this. I love this mobility. It's very comfortable. The clarity of hearing music and you guys are amazing.
Good.
And I like the color because it's not white, so I like that too. But I don't need them. Like the truth is, it doesn't fit my life. I've been selling all my stuff this week from on Swappa. I've been a lot of things.
What you even sold its car?
I sold my MacBook Air. I sold my 12 mini. That one was hard to let go, man.
Ooh,
I almost didn't list it.
Gone.
And I sold my 11 Pro.
Wow.
That's right.
End of an era. I still have mine.
Yeah, we've got one 11 Pro left.
I got the original.
You've got the
green.
best screen now.
It's gone. Yeah, I do have the best screen. So now what I have left is my mint condition 13 Pro, which is still listed. My Series 4 Apple Watch.
Oh yeah,
and
I forgot about that.
That's it. I think that's it. That'll finalize my last everything. But so in the process of downsizing,
at least
the 12 mini sold the quickest. I listed it and it sold in like hours. There was a back and forth with the 11, and there was a little bit of a back and forth with the MacBook Air, but not a big back and forth.
So you're happy with what they sold for?
I would have liked more on the. I would have liked more on the Mac, only because as the seller, I have to pay for the shipping, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And this particular one, it's going to Guam. So, I insure every shipment just for security blanket for me. So whatever the listing price is, easily shave off like $100 on that for something as big of a purchase as like a MacBook Air or a higher tier iPhone that's going to be listed. Anything between like 800 and up, easily just shave off like $100 of what you will actually put in your pocket after Swappa gets their cut, PayPal gets their cut, and you pay for shipping, and then you insure the shipping. Bless you. That is, unless you mic'd it, then no one knew you sneezed. But
he did what?
Unless I always said, unless no one knew you snows.
The snows went under the radar until you. How dare you?
I knew you were muting yourself last week when you were sneezing, so I never said anything. But anyway. So yeah, with those four things, I already was $100 less. So I knew that was going to be the case. So I initially listed it $100 more than I was going to accept, knowing the case. But from the buyer's end, they're like, I don't care if it is mint. At this point, I would have been better off just getting certified refurbished or going to Apple directly. And then there's other people out there that are actual businesses on Swappa that just undercut me anyway. So I have to sweeten the pot by like MacBook Air stand included, iPhone genuine leather case included for the 12 mini, and the seller for the 12 mini goes, "Hey man, I don't need the leather case, keep it." So he did. I never negotiated the price for the mini. He paid what I asked straight up, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't need the case. I don't need the leather case." I'm like,
nice. I always hate that though, because it's like I don't need the case. My new phone
I know.
doesn't need it, so I'm like, I don't even care if you don't want the case. I just think you should have it because you'll have at least a use for it, even if you don't want it. You can use it.
He made up his mind. He made up his mind, and so I had to ask my wife, like, "Do you want this case?" And she's like, "No." But then she kind of put it on because of the MagSafe, and she has a dock in her car for it, and she goes, "I mean, it's not bad, but I can't see my green." But she's using it right now, but she wants to get one of those clear cases that's not from Apple because it's too expensive for her taste. So anyway, all that to say, in this downsizing thing, I was really evaluating these headphones, and the only reason why I'm using them right now is because I got until like June 20th, right?
Wow.
So 90 days, man. And every time I go on Amazon, they tell me, "Hey, this is still good. You can initiate your return right now." And I'm like, I'm about to do it, but I need to at least say goodbye to it properly on one more episode before I send it back. I'm not going to wait the whole 90 days just because...
good idea.
I mean, that's money I could use elsewhere. Because it's gonna. I already paid off the credit card because it's auto paid, right? And the credit card already took the payment, but I can cash out the difference, and then they'll just put it in my account. And that's...
I see.
What, about $400? That's $400 that could be put to work elsewhere. Like stocks, since everyone says I always bring up stocks in the comments. Yeah. Yes, I see. Like stocks, that's $400 I could go towards stock. There, bingo.
How about
there you go.
Apple stocks?
Yeah, maybe.
There.
Hey, that's my... Want my investment advice? Always invest in Apple.
Ooh. We have it on the record, people.
Oh, yeah. It's the safest stuff.
So
but anyway, so...
AirPods are good for the podcast, and that's it.
AirPods are good. Well, they're good for other things, too, but convenience is one heck of a drug, man. I'm just not wanting to carry this around like a briefcase holding on wherever I go. Putting AirPods Pro, I don't know, they're right there. But putting the little, pill-shaped floss thing in my small pocket where the iPod Nano is supposed to go. Put that.
Are you embarrassed about your bra, Randy?
Yeah.
No, man, I'm proud of it. It's just it's not convenient. I don't want. Look at that size AA or something. I don't know how bras work. I don't know. Ladies, please correct me.
No, they're rechargeable.
But they're rechargeable
bras.
I don't want to be the guy who looks like that. I don't want to be that jerk at the store who's just walking around with over ears at Target and just like, "Don't talk to me. I'm better than you. I'm tuning out the world." Like I don't have sensory deprivation like issues. So it's not like I need to do that. But I want to listen to music, and I just feel like a jerk off wearing these things everywhere in public, and honestly, it's not convenient. It's just not convenient.
Yep.
I've worked out in them and no sweat. Like I get on the elliptical, I'm like, whoo, whoo, and at the end of it, like an hour, I would take off to see if there's like sweat or what that condensation is. Nothing. So I don't know how to. I tried to provoke the condensation to happen. It didn't happen on my end, and so I don't know if that's a humidity thing. If I just need to be somewhere more humid, I don't know. So
have you heard of the Ice Bucket Challenge, Randy?
For ASL, American Sign Language. Yeah, I don't know. I want something that's waterproof, but this ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. So you know what? To be honest with you, wearing these now for a long period of time, I can confidently say I'm not the use case for it because the over-ears I want, they work just fine with the cable and stuff like that. For the purpose, the latency, honestly, it's last chance. AirPods Max could have saved itself if they would have worked in Final Cut and Logic, but there was a latency issue that just never resolved itself. And I'm like, this is the problem with wireless then. Fundamentally, because I've had it with AirPods, AirPods Pro, and now AirPods Max. Every single one of them has given me that latency issue that I'm actually not editing at the speed of the playback, and it's off. It's offsetting in Logic, and it's offsetting in Final Cut. Didn't work for me, so I was like, all right, so this is a consumer thing. Then I go, well, darn, this is a very expensive consumer thing. I have to really want it. And it's just not convenient. What's more convenient than a little pill-shaped thing in your pocket? That's the best thing. So they're just not for me. So I don't care what happens if there's a refreshed line of this one. I might get it to
I don't
just
see
check
the price
out.
changing much.
Yeah,
Probably going up, if anything.
I think this has sold me more I'm more of a wireless earbud guy now, just for convenience alone. The foam cushion is what saved it for AirPods Pro for me. And again,
Oh, yeah.
on record,
I still need to try that.
I promise you all the difference. 1, 2,
I believe you.
to refresh the audience, I recently had my AirPods Pro. They gave me new AirPods Pro because of an issue, and it was in warranty. So the battery's not necessarily bad, like yours would be or Nick's would be. So
Yeah.
It only makes me appreciate AirPods Pro. This is the best. AirPods Max is the best sounding headphone. It's most comfortable. It lacks in convenience, and it lacks in price. Price and convenience at the end of the day are always going to be the two things where I'm like,
It's like the Mac Pro of headphones. It's expensive. Yeah. It's very good at what it does, but it's not mobile and it's not a good value, and you should probably just get a MacBook.
Yeah.
Which is
But I wanted them to come on one more time for you guys to just see them one last time for our visual.
These poor things. We've reviewed them twice now, and they still didn't make the cut, even at the lower price point. So if Randy the audiophile can't justify them at $400, I definitely feel less interested in them, because I'm in that same boat as you. Of it's convenience is absolutely the driving force, and I love taking them with me in the little sub pocket and that kind of thing. So I have a feeling if you couldn't justify carrying those around, I'm probably not going to either.
I'm being as honest with you as I can be. I'm not upselling anything. Its greatest feature is its sound and its battery. It's very comfortable too as well. So comfort, battery, sound could not keep me holding on to it, unfortunately, which is sad because the battery is the one thing that we all gripe about, and I think we'll always gripe about as long as there's wireless in the picture. If this had here's where AirPods Max could have been a win if it gave you a cable that you can plug. All those little things that people were critiquing from the offset still stand true now. It's just
so that little $35 cable doesn't sway you.
No, man. Like I told you, my cap was not a penny over 400, and that includes accessories. I shouldn't have to pay for accessories. It's not for me in that sense, and it doesn't fit my life today. And the part where it's more subjective, I guess, is that I feel like a hypocrite. For what I love is like it's not minimal. I don't. I have AirPods and AirPods Pro, and I'm trying to get rid of one of them, and I might be AirPods, but I put AirPods in, and it's just the most comfortable. It just hangs out there. It rests on the ear. I'm like, oh my God, it's so light. I look at my wife wearing hers, and I'm just like, man, you make me want to be like you, but I just have that weird irk. Like I have 3 different AirPods, and I only have one set of ears. I feel so hypocritical about that, and I don't know reason I have the other over. Dude, it's weird,
2,
man.
And I think it's overkill.
It is. It really is. But that goes to show how great these products as an accessory really are. That under Tim Cook, he does have 2 new product lines that were successes: Apple Watch and AirPods. I love both those things. They're so phenomenal. But my love of sound and everything, I can't. If I'm here in the office, I'm playing them on my dedicated speaker monitors, or if I'm on the go, it's in my Tesla, right? It's playing off the Bluetooth. I don't have a situation where I need this, and I have not been able to take them on a flight, which means I don't fly often enough to need them. So
Yeah.
that's where I have to give and take. It's not worth 400 to take a flight every 4 times a year. $100 a flight. That's why I'm doing the cost analysis. I don't know.
I think they're good for the commuter that doesn't drive their own car, or at least doesn't have a car that has a really good speaker system. I think like those that take the bus or take trains, that type of product is perfect because it's zoning out of the situation around you, and you're able to just get immersed with the podcast or the music that you're listening to and all that, and gets you from A to B in what seems like a quicker time.
I don't disagree.
In your
with that.
case, you're always around either really good wired headphones, really good in-ears, or a car that has pretty good
Yeah, you have
system.
something that's a dedicated sound system for that situation. Like if I'm doing dishes or I'm in the living room, I use my HomePod minis to play like my books or something.
There's too many Apple products. We can't use all of them.
and they're all good, right? The problem is that they're all good, but it's like, okay, this is the most expensive. So
Right. If you had to pick your poison, pick the cheaper one.
yeah, and again, they're on record, they're great. If Amazon new or refurbished, Amazon used or what, I my first time experience with them, loved every bit of that. These are flawlessly brand, no scuffs, no nothing, no wear. I put more wear and tear than the previous owner, and I will
Good to hear.
Swinging them around.
Yeah. No, what do I look like, Nick? So,
loves
you
to
know,
chuckle.
I'll use those guys again. That's my Apple certified refurbished equivalent, because a 90-day return policy is amazing. I will definitely use those Amazon again for that stuff. But
You're tempting me
I
to just try them for three months and then return.
you literally lose nothing, and it's a cleaner process to return than what I've been doing with Swappa. So yeah, they're great to use. They're a great stopgap. This is a perfect 90-day stopgap, but it only solidified my belief that if I want to do the podcasting with you guys and I need over ears, I don't have this current setup. This was a last minute thing for our visual and audio listeners. I wasn't planning on being here, but I have the headphones, I have the mic, I'm already set. I have dedicated equipment and gear that fits my lifestyle, my work, and my productivity lifestyle, stuff like that. The AirPods just they're a one size fit most, and they're most expensive. $200 though. If it was only $200, now it's going against my I feel like a hypocrite for saying that, like, I'm not being minimal. So that's something I have to be honest with myself too. They could be free, and I would have an issue holding on to them over the other ones because of convenience. Yeah, it's all that stuff. It's only solidified what I felt last year, and most people will love them. And what Mike was saying too, in regards to people in transit, people who commute a lot, people who are don't have the setup that I have, because I do have HomePod Mini, I have other AirPods, I have the Tesla.
Like, so if I went to school, if I was going to school, they'd probably be great for.
Oh man, no, yeah, that'd be great. I don't want to hear none
They're
of
great
it.
for studying as well. Yeah.
So most people, for most cases, I would still recommend them off of Amazon's used section. I would say it's a hard yes. For battery comfort alone is amazing, but and sound it is the best sounding out of all the other AirPods. But for me, I just personally, that's where I stand. So I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself. I'm returning them, but I recommend them.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I've done that very thing. It makes sense. But
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see where AirPods Pro go, because those are rumored to get refreshed later this year, and they're in desperate need of an update. So I
Fix
also
the battery.
want to try them.
AirPods Pro fixes the battery situation. You have a solid S tier thing going on right there, I would say.
Do you think the price is going up?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Everything.
What is it at right now? Like is that 250 right now?
Yeah.
I think it's gone up to like 270, 275.
So if you're annoyed by the price hikes this year, everyone, just wait a couple months. Wait, it'll show up on Amazon for.
It's already on
$40
Amazon right
less.
now. For like
Yeah, I just meant
200 or whatever.
The next one.
Yeah, the second
You're
gen.
talking about
will show
Yeah.
up on Amazon a couple months later for cheaper, and you get a great deal on them. That's where Nick's getting his next pair, and the only thing preventing me from getting the foam tips that Randy's recommended so much is I'm paranoid that they're gonna change the connection on the second gen AirPods Pro, and if they keep the same one, then I'll get them. But I don't want to buy.
Let me make a
foam
case
tips
for you
and-
now. I want to make a case for you.
Okay.
It's $14, and for as long as I've had them now, you would have well made your got your money's worth out of it. Just
I
waiting.
could invest that $14 and buy 100 shares of Netflix stock.
You could, or you could invest that $14 in giving your day-to-day life better ease of use. Some things are just kind of worth biting the, especially for $14. I pay more with all these darn subscriptions and stuff like that. I kind of feel like this was a one-time payment of 14, well worth it. Hey man, sometimes you gotta front some cash up that is gonna be where, even if, say, you're holding out for something that might be true, it doesn't change all that lost time that you've already lost, that you could have had a better fit, better sounding time, and you don't know there's gonna be a refresh.
Though.
You don't know it's going to be
That's
refreshed.
my issue.
You don't know if the tips are going to change. There's a lot of unknowns, and $14 for that peace of mind. Here's what you do know: you have working AirPods now, and they could be better. And there are third-party accessories out there that make them better. So
I'm sure
that's worth 14.
I just don't do this enough to spend $14 to justify it yet. But if I had a guarantee that that $14 was gonna last me another 3 years, maybe I could justify it. But
someone's gonna super chat you enough money to get you those. So
if I could figure out how to live stream again, we gotta wait
Poor T-Mobile.
till
Is it-
T-Mobile gets justified.
Has it been getting better, or at least like it seems like it's doing okay right now?
Yeah, it did a lot better after the initial replacement unit was sent. So I got a brand new gateway to replace the old one, and I set it up and did my stream tests with it, and it was bumpy and dropping frames even after the whole going through the replacement unit process. And I was like, well, this sucks. I don't know what to do. And luckily the following day it seemed to be more stable, to the point I could do the whole EV stream. It dropped a few frames here and there, but not as bad as the day before. It would go from like 5,000 kilobits per second down to 1,000, sometimes 500, and then recover. So audio was prioritized, but it wasn't like the whole stream went down like it was when I first got the gateway. So I don't know what took it so long, or what changed, or how it fixed itself, but it seems to be stable enough now that I can live with it. But I'm definitely nervous and concerned that it's gonna crash again like it did.
I got
Definitely.
about 20 minutes into your guest appearance on Stenson's podcast, so I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how much of that was already addressed. I got up to the point last night where
okay.
you were talking about that stuff. Well, I'm just because that's definitely their realm of things of what they do, and they cover all that stuff. So
Dennis
I know
is an
you're-
expert. He knows everything about internet and how packet loss works and cache.
Yeah.
And, he was just an infinite bank of knowledge in terms of internet service. But he had all these tricks and things I wanted to try. I'm like, I'm kind of the plug it in and hope it works types dude when it comes to internet. But yeah, it was cool being on their show.
Your gripes. Well, that on top of me then checking out the what was going on with T-Mobile. I saw the video and stuff like that. It sounds like there was a lot of what's the saying? Grasping for straws coming from T-Mobile.
Yes,
Because there were so many
customer
contradicting statements. Yeah.
At one hand, they said, "Oh, there's maintenance and it'll be done by the 30th," and then I call back and they say, "Oh, the maintenance will be done by the 9th," and I was like, "Ugh." And then I call back on the 1st and they say, "No, there's no maintenance in your area."
Yeah.
So
That's funny.
I'm worried that I fried the old gateway because I live stream so much. and that every 2 months it's gonna fry itself again.
That's not how
Because
that works.
there's other
No.
people that were saying I get told the maintenance thing every time. Like anytime there's a T-Mobile issue, they call in, they go, "Oh, there's maintenance in your area." That's
You should
just their
figure out where
excuse.
this tower is. And
I
then
know where
just-
it is.
Okay, then just monitor if anyone's there, throughout the day. And then you could definitively know that if they're working on it physically or not. And then I guess there's the digital
No,
part where they're
you're
kinda
onto
just-
something, Mike. You gotta say a little bit more. You gotta say a little bit more. You gotta be confidently assertive but polite to say, "Listen, what you're about to tell me, that's not it."
I'm
I'm
literally
looking
here
right
at
at
the
it.
tower.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm talking to you on my cell phone, which has that's right,
Right.
T-Mobile.
Right. When
So-
the phone was working, I was like, something's up.
Yeah,
That doesn't make sense to me. But there
Hey,
was
I
a
called
time.
it though, man. I called it. I told you that they were gonna come. I was like, they gave you a month free, because
Yeah,
that's why I wasn't
Randy
worried.
predicted
No matter
that.
what happens, T-Mobile is very quick to be like, this does not represent us. I'm gonna comp you. And if it does fry every 2 months like you're predicting, you're gonna get comped every 2 months.
I'll have no internet bill. I'll just keep getting refunded each month that goes by. Which,
If you're
I don't
unhappy,
know.
they will take that seriously enough that they'll send somebody. I've had somebody come to my
unhappy.
house. Where I was at in San Diego, we had somebody come out because I was like, listen, it's not working. And they detected, they found the problem where the tower was at. If you remember, Drew, that hill that's right there is could not one, it's up on a hill, but it is blocking a direct line of sight of the tower. And so only those first 3 units right there would have no signal on that tower, but then the other ones would be fine. And when they addressed it, like, oh, okay, here, we're gonna give you this booster and we're gonna find a way to, and they did. I was like, am I paying for it? Nope. And we're gonna comp you a month because that's not your fault. And so they're very quick to try to make a happy
I
customer.
don't want people showing up though. I don't like.
You do or do not?
I do not like people show. That's half
You
the
won't
reason
know.
I
Your
left
security camera's
Comcast.
gonna be out. You won't know. You're fine.
I did not want to go back to Comcast because of their business model, and you gotta let some stranger show up in your house. It's. I mean, if T-Mobile starts acting up again, do you guys think going back to Comcast is worth it?
No.
It depends. How much are you sacrificing?
Money.
Yeah, but how much money? Like,
A lot.
is the return on investment on streaming better or worse based on some of the patching that you could come up with, at least with T-Mobile?
I
'Cause
think
you
if
can't-
it drops for a week every 2 months, I could probably argue it's better to just have technical problems every 2 months, although that's more annoying because that's more stressful.
Yeah.
And it's more phone calls to just be like, nope, every couple of months I'm going to complain and they're going to send me a new gateway that fixes the issue for a couple months. But Comcast is definitely going to cost probably definitely more than double what T-Mobile costs.
Jeez.
I even reached out to StarLink. I asked them how if I
I
could come
saw.
back. They said
Baby,
no.
come back. You can blame it all on me.
I was so sad.
Yeah, I am very sorry that you dropped Starlink at this point, especially with the fact that you could take it anywhere.
I know. That would have been so fun to use. They introduced that. I mean, they did raise the price quite a bit, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sorry. Those prices, man. You're the
don't
price.
know.
If you're not gonna spend $14 on some foam tips, there's no way in heck you're gonna be doing.
Drew
right.
puts his money in weird bags. He bought a
They're still
laptop
in.
that has 8 terabytes of storage. Yet he
They
doesn't
haven't
want to pay
fallen out.
$14 for a tip. So I think if
ears have-
Drew he would rather go for internet that was consistent instead of
Yeah,
inconsistent.
but Comcast is literally evil.
yes, I agree.
I heard that if you rearrange the words in their whole entire name, you get evil corporate, and then some
If
other
you rearrange the
letters.
letters in Xfinity, it spells Satan.
Evil.
You just have to
Dr.
rearrange them a
Evil.
lot and add new ones and get rid of
It
old ones.
spells Bill Gates.
Right. Actually, the internet's
Well, if you take a look.
Well, so Drew, what if it's that bad? I'm sure you've seen at least the pictures I've sent with StarLink where you can basically see where there's available areas. Would you consider, I mean, this sounds very drastic, moving to like either get better internet in general or at least get back on Starlink?
Michael, what have you become?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's gonna uproot and just go to. You know what?
Well-
He might be onto something, Drew. Actually, this is
He
your
just
life. This is your
changed his
work.
opinion. He changed his opinion so quickly. No, I would not move to get access to Starlink because I honestly would not have to move very far to get access to fiber. We have friends and family that are not very far away that can get fiber for cheaper than Starlink. So that's absolutely the go-to move if we do move, is like getting to a place with fiber. But that's, of course, the cop out. That's the most expensive decision because it's like, instead of paying Comcast $150 a month, I'll just have a mortgage that's $2,000 a month. That's a big.
The math makes
Sounds
sense
logical to me.
It's a big shift. It's the big you could tell anyone that if your internet's slow, just move to Japan. They have multi.
Where's the lie?
You can fix a lot of problems.
To go to
just by
Japan.
moving.
Listen, I would give up. I would give up Mike's firstborn to go to Japan. Yeah.
You assuming that I have a firstborn ever.
You could give up something that doesn't exist. Problem solved.
Then I'll take the first. Nut.
I'd give up his lastborn.
Nut. He'd give up his last.
I will never
Listen,
give
Mike.
this up.
I'd give up your middle child to have fiber.
What does that mean, middle child? What if I have 4 children?
Oh.
The middle
we'll flip
two.
a coin. You flip a coin for it. The middle
Yeah.
two.
So I'm hoping T-Mobile just stays stable. That's the goal. Is if it just continues to work enough to where I can stream off of it, then I'll just keep doing this. But yeah. that's the moving is a whole nother logistics issue that's much bigger than internet
But it's
the real
it's
estate
better
market.
than having the headache of like trying to juggle between Comcast, T-Mobile, and Starlink.
Yeah.
And, like
Well,
none of
moving
them
is quite a
working out
headache,
to
too.
what you do. It is, but you do it once from one place to another, and then you're done. Versus T-Mobile could keep on acting.
And who
up.
doesn't want to be closer to Apple, Drew? Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Well,
Just
the
move to the
interest
Bay.
rates just went up too, so that makes real estate even harder. But
Do you feel?
just hoping it's stable. But go ahead.
Do you notice on your outside of your T-Mobile internet thing? Do you have you seen improvement on your cell phone, like connectivity and stuff like that? Is it same, better, worse?
The same. I don't know for sure, but I'm convinced that they're slowing down the 4G towers.
Oh, are you not using 5G on your phone?
I am, but my wife's on the SE2, and she notices substantially slower speeds than she used to in the same
see.
places. And 5G seems really fast for everybody, and it's fine. But we've had issues with Starlink and with Comcast, but it was very different to be like, okay, I'm done with work, but we can't even like watch a show now.
Yeah.
Like just sit back and relax and just watch a movie that we feel like watching, and then
Go
once we
outside and
ran
do
out
yard work.
Yeah, we gotta go.
You have
do
no other
yard work
option.
now. And I was sick this whole week too, so I was miserable because we were like, we can't even just sit back and relax. We work as much as I can and cough through everything, and then when I'm done working, I gotta call T-Mobile and try to get our internet working. But once we ran out of cellular data on our phones, it was like we can't even browse social media now. It's like we're just
Right.
we got to read a book or something. It was horrible. It was disgusting. It's
Yes.
like what's
Sounds
there
like
to
the
do?
most
analog.
terrible situation ever. Oh my goodness, reading a book.
Oh, getting that's another crinkle on the brain. Oh no.
What?
Right.
Getting
So
more
the phone
folds in the brain
service-
is good.
There was a time.
No, Mike, we're
think
smooth brain energy over here.
we're all smooth brain now. There was a time during last week's podcast where my cellular data on my phone went out and the
Yep.
home Wi-Fi went out. So I couldn't even text you what the problem was. I just
I'm
error
just gone.
messaged on the FaceTime call, and I listened to what you and Nick talked about, by the way. That was fun. But since I got to edit the show, I knew what was discussed. But I
We're
was
not
like
plotting.
trying to text
What?
them.
Nobody's plotting. What are you talking about?
It was like, guys, my Wi-Fi is out. And then it was like, couldn't send the text message. And I was like, what do I do? Like, I don't even know what to do at this point. I was quite frustrated. So
me and Nick were like, yeah, you know what? Drew always has an excuse for something. What?
I just do not want to reward Comcast with my business after leaving them.
Okay. That's why I asked if how your connectivity is, because if you're using the 5G towers, I would make a less than educated guess, because I haven't done the research. I would think that T-Mobile would get better with their towers in your area because it's in a rural spot, and that's where they can kind of shine a little bit more, and that's where they can drive business the same way. Parallel to what StarLink is trying to do, that they're trying to hit the places that need it the most. T-Mobile would do the same thing with their towers, and unlike Comcast, because you're using the 5G towers and you're saying it seems to be getting faster where 4G LTE is slowing down, I would make that less than educated guess that your time with using T-Mobile will only get better over time. But that's me thinking, what could go wrong? And you keep getting... And I don't want to jinx that for you, because in 3 months you're gonna be trying, AT&T's DirecTV or something.
Verizon finally gets to you or something.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, well, I've been impressed that Mike and I have FaceTimed for several hours today, and I have not really lost him. He's been on StarLink the entire time, and there's been a couple times where he's gone pixelated.
Can't get rid of me. I'm always here.
He's pretty stable. Do you know if you'd ever see yourself using the new portability feature now?
It's tempting if we ever want to. The wife and I have discussed getting a van at some point, but that's like
van life, Mike.
Van life. We can't because we own horses, but
just need
the
a
van
really
would
big
have
van.
Yeah, but it would technically.
Well, that's just your horsepower.
Okay, maybe I'm not stable anymore. I'm becoming very unstable now. The van could tow the horses, and we could put the dish on top, and we always have Wi-Fi all the time, as long as we're in an area that isn't on a wait list, which surprisingly is, of course, every single city. But because not every single part in the United States is a city, it looks like there's a whole bunch of free spots, but maybe.
How does that make you feel?
If
in regards to doing that, Mike, how does that make you feel?
If paying $25 more a month to take my internet with me, it's not a bad idea. The issue is, like, the dish is modular. It's just you have to snake all the wire through the house again, kind of like what Drew's described before with his. Like, you have to take all the cord out.
I would not
and then
move that. I would buy a separate cable. That's what I would do personally. I would just buy a travel cable.
Yeah, and then you just put the other cable in a bag or something, so that way it doesn't get all waterlogged. Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't think of that for some reason. Yeah.
It's more money. It adds to the cost. I get it.
Well, yeah, you add one more cable, and
I can't do it with mine. It doesn't come out.
Yeah, true. You'd have to get another Dish McFlat face, but maybe at some point, if we really have nothing else to do and we're that bored, we'll just go on an adventure with the StarLink and have fun. But we have no plans immediately. There's no need. We are the most boring, laid-back, suburban couple that you could find.
I disagree. Okay. You guys have a fascinating story. I love your background. And I love telling people
Thank you.
about
I like the background
my
too.
Friends. I was always like, I have a friend, Mike. He owns a Model Y. And he has a StarLink dish. He can live stream while camping.
He's defined by the things that he has.
Are we all? You
I
are
define people-
who you buy.
It would.
You
I guess
are
getting back
who
to
you
it,
buy. Now buy.
we're actually more interested in the little Nest modules that you can't buy. I wish you could buy. I've looked on the StarLink store. You can't buy them, but we'd be more interested in that because we don't have internet in certain spots of the house that we would like better internet. Just because
like
how the walls
extender?
are. Yeah, the little way stations, or it looks like the router, but it's just got power cord in it or whatever. We would like more of those. The booster, that's what they call them. But we don't have. Well, we can't buy them, and also they probably cost like $100 a pop or something like that. I forget what. I think 130. So
Nothing Starlink is cheap right now.
anything is cheap.
Yeah,
besides
but
apparently phone
nothing
tips.
anywhere, anything is cheap.
T-Mobile's pretty cheap, I'll admit.
I can tell
Considering
by your experience.
And you get what you pay for.
We've literally not paid anything for we've profited off of switching to T-Mobile so far.
Yeah.
Because the first month was free, then the bill showed up, and then they gave us a $50 prepaid card that covered that. And then this was our first full month, and then they refunded us for it. So still has cost $0 as of now. But yeah, as far as Starlink is, it's similar to Tesla with no demand problem. They can charge whatever they want because they know everybody who has it absolutely needs it. So yeah, they can.
I don't see myself ever dropping Starlink unless I move to a place that has fiber. If it has fiber, I'll switch over. If not, keeping the Starlink. I'll wait on the wait list.
Fair. Okay.
It's too valuable of a utility at this point. Able to have internet wherever you want to go or wherever you want to move. And we're not like the type of people that
movies and shows going fine.
Perfectly fine. It used to be at the beginning it was a little bit buffery or slow, but otherwise
mine too.
It's all smoothed out. Like whenever we watch like Moon Knight or something like that, like it takes like maybe 1 second to load it up and then bam, there it is. Last week on Moon Knight.
Wow.
That type of thing. So it's quick, it's fast. I've done a few speed tests recently and it does well, does great. There's no complaints from me, especially after we did some tree cutting recently. It's got a better field of view and it's been nothing but better after that. So as long as you've got clear skies. Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, that airlines is trash.
I canceled them. Was it a week or two ago? And they're just like, "What did we do wrong?" And I'm like,
"What did you do right?"
Everything.
What'd you do right?
It was more like you profit off of people who need internet, and you have the ability to give better internet, and you don't. And I get that. Yeah, it's going to cost you more money, but I don't know. Like at this point, we're in 2022.
I want you to ask them what they did right and see what they say.
Listen, Drew. I use that when people's like, if someone are like, "Yo, what's wrong with your face?" What's right with yours?
What's right about your face?
Yeah. Whenever someone says like, "What's wrong with your?" Oh, what's wrong with the food? What's right with it? Look at it. Yeah.
Tell me.
That's a good response.
Write me 5 paragraphs on why this is good. Yeah, so I haven't used Frontier for like I think 2 weeks now, and I don't miss it. Of course,
good.
It was wonderful. Reliable, but like this Starlink has become more reliable after we cut trees, and it went out of its boot up phase basically or setup phase. So now it's just
you're Neo, and you were able to just freedom. So that's why you don't miss it. My Mac.
Neo has MagSafe.
Neo has MagSafe.
For a second, I thought it was
big batteries, right?
I thought it was the old iPhone iPod cable. I'm like, why do you have that there?
Oh, the 30 pin? Oh man.
Yeah, the 30 pin. Like
that would be bad.
Why? What's wrong with
you? The EU is going to switch Neo to switch to USB-C.
You know? Hey, I have a 30 pin. So. Do I have? Oh, it's not over here, and I don't want to. I'm scared to walk away. My headphones are acting up. But, yeah. I booted up an iPad 2 this week.
What? Were you going to sell that too?
No. No,
Okay.
but I did update it to the latest software, which is 9.3.8 or
The
something like
latest.
that. Yeah.
Probably
gonna
would
The
be
say,
latest
working more
it
on
will
the old
take.
software. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it was like on 9.1. It was not that far behind.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Well, they slashed the trade-in values of
I
Apple
saw.
this week. It's abysmal. Now my iMac Pro is $850 estimated
Meh.
trade-in.
I looked at the
So we're
trade-in for
keeping
my
it-
iMac,
Which
and they already
means you're
halved
gonna get
it.
even less than that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was yours, Mike?
I was gonna say they basically have mine, so
Oof.
and mine's from last year. So
Yeah, it's not
if,
old at
if
all.
you're gonna take half for my computer, I'm just gonna sell it privately or sell it to someone who will give
I
me full
hate
price.
selling, man. Listen, doing this whole thing, trying to sell stuff, that has been an incentive to keep me on this now for a
I
while.
agree.
I am so burnt out. Just and not even the
too.
haggling part. The haggling part, I'm pretty good at. Actually, nay, I'm really good at negotiating. That part's never the issue.
Nay.
It's the logistics.
Believe me.
It's the okay, believe me, folks. Nobody's gonna fight for you the way I fight for you. Okay, believe me. All right. And the MacBook I just sold just got $200 more expensive. Okay, and they're
art of
gonna
the
pay
deal.
for it. Believe me.
They're gonna.
I'm the best.
And they're
I
gonna pay
tried
for it.
so hard to sell my iMac to Mike. It didn't matter how many words I used, all of my port business tactics, and Mike refused to buy it. So I've just accepted defeat. I'm gonna have this iMac Pro forever. It's not going away.
I didn't know Mike was
That's
the
fine.
final frontier. It's interesting you haven't approached me once about it, Drew. I feel so
Would you like
insulted.
it? Would you?
Get the hell out of my face. How dare you ask me such a ridiculous question? How dare you? Look, I'm talking to you on the greatest machine
wrong
God
with
has
it?
ever built. What's right with yours?
Nothing. Both of yours have sucked recently.
No, it's not true, Michael. Don't you say such things. My feelings are hurt. I'm
Use
validated.
my full name.
I'm offended.
This is getting serious now. But yeah, it's
I'm
just for
offended.
the 2 terabytes of storage alone. It's absolutely worth keeping. And we're also downgrading our iCloud storage this week to the 50 gig
Ooh.
tier. We're gonna save a magical $24 a year. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that money.
Buy some ear
foam
tips.
headphones. Yeah.
Not foam tips. No, that's money that could go towards Netflix stock, obviously. But I think
How dare you?
Buried him. He's dead. Stop kicking him. He's dead.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, I have to. But
The wound
it
is too
hasn't been
fresh.
all day.
used. The iMac's in the bedroom. It hasn't been used too much by my wife, so I'm wondering if I should turn it into a dedicated. Because the main reason I'm seeing like a gap here of like I want an external monitor, because trying to work off of this tinier screen is hard. But the main reason it's hard is usually when I'm live streaming and I have OBS and the chat open and stuff. And I'm like, maybe the iMac Pro, since it's the same panel as the studio display, they're both 5K, they're both 60 hertz, they both have decent speakers, and I treat them as charging hubs because they have ports in the back. Maybe I should just leave my cam link permanently plugged in and my Blackmagic and stuff permanently set up on the iMac, and that'll just be my live streaming computer, and then I'll just do all the editing on the laptop. It's not the perfect solution because I can't use the iMac as an external monitor per se, but it would literally cost nothing. So that makes it a pretty compelling deal. It's like
You're already paying for a computer with the studio display, but it didn't have a computer. So it
Yeah.
seems like a good compromise to go with the iMac Pro and then just use it as a display that is just a little bit smarter.
It might be pulled out of retirement. It might make a comeback.
It's only been in retirement for like, what, 2 months? Not even?
Yeah, a couple months put in retirement, and then I go, sorry, man, you're coming back. I've got more uses for you. So it'll just be my live streaming computer / like TV. I'll watch YouTube videos on it. But
You say that,
Sure.
and then we're gonna get the new Mac Pro setup, and you're gonna want that monitor so bad that you're not gonna care what.
I don't think it's gonna be 120. I genuinely don't think it will be.
Hey, last thing you talked about on your video, you were siding with Ross on that one. You changed your stance. You're going.
I
with Gurman?
said I believe Ross, but I think Ross is wrong about the promotion thing. I think I talked about that
He
in my
hasn't been wrong yet, my friend.
he hasn't, but he's changed his report.
His verbiage?
He said, yeah, he said it was gonna be an iMac, and then it turned out to be the studio display. And he was like, "Oh, sorry, I thought it was an iMac because it had a camera and speakers. Turned out it was actually just a very fancy monitor." So he's shown his cracks in his argument, and I think that I asked him specifically because I was like, "How are they going to do 120 hertz at 5K? I don't think Thunderbolt can sustain that." And he said, I don't know how they're going to do it, but anything that's been mini LED has been 120 so far, so I don't see why this would be an exception. And it was that response where I was like, this sounds more like prediction, not source. You don't have someone telling you this, you're just predicting this and roping it in with your source. And I just can't imagine a scenario where, because all of the Macs, even the Mac Studio still has Thunderbolt 4, which can't do the 5K at 120. So
Yes.
I think it's more likely that Apple is just going to take the L and say, nah, it's a desktop and you're not gaming, so you don't really need 120. They just did 120 on the iPad and the Mac because the resolution is lower and it's directly attached to the motherboard, so it's not a limitation of
I don't know, man.
Thunderbolt.
Okay, so here's why I think it's gonna come. I'm sorry. The more I
Okay.
think about it, like, I think it's gonna come. I think it's coming because this is the crescendo of it all. You have to go all out. You can't take steps backwards. Right now, you have your Mac Studio that does not give you 120. How do you one up the
At
Mac
5K,
Studio at 5K? Mac Pro can outshine Mac Studio in that viewed through that prism. Otherwise, you've only driven more of incentive to get the Mac Studio at that point. If there's no difference, you're only driving. Apple's really good at not driving sales down. They're good at driving sales ups to make you. Oh, it's only $200 more. It's only one, but they never go. I'm just gonna. The M1 MacBook Air is good. People don't take a step back. They always like lean into the next thing, and we're not at the big end of this, and it's the most anticipated computer that we've been waiting for. This was the one thing that they've not kept secret about. It would outshine the Mac Studio so much just to give you the promotion ability. Now your scenario of what you're driving force there, Drew. I could see maybe happening ish is that okay 4K at 120. Or
That'd be great. That would fix so many problems if they just said, let's do a slightly lower resolution.
What if
Please.
Apple does the Apple thing and they just don't give you like the numbers? They just say it's ProMotion, it's XDR display, promo. Like they
I'd
don't
be sold
give you
if it was-
resolution.
As long as they say ProMotion, but Apple loves resolution. It's the 6K Pro display because the
Yeah, of course.
resolution allows them to go up a
You
little
have
bit
to,
higher.
They have to one up the 6K. They have to
Yeah.
one up the last one. They're gonna one
Well-
up it with ProMotion.
Even if you're right, it wouldn't work with my laptop. So
That's your problem.
yeah.
That's on you for buying a laptop.
So I'm not gonna buy the $10,000 Mac Pro. I'm not gonna buy the 10 grand Mac Pro just so it works with the $6,000 monitor, because I do need a laptop and I'm not willing to go back to a tower or a desktop type setup because I need something I can take with me, and the monitor is helpful but not mandatory to me, so I don't have an infinite budget on it, and I already think 3,000 is a lot. Like that's a lot of money to spend on a monitor, and that's kind of my upper limit if it's perfect and does everything I want. But I'm getting the impression that it's not going to be perfect and it will compromise in ways that I care about, like the 120 or the pricing. So I'm just kind of prepared for the worst and hoping for the best. But if just using the iMac Pro as a spare monitor works, then that's a whole lot cheaper. Leaves more money for Netflix.
I'll give you
stuff,
that
so.
one. You're better off using that than going with the studio display, because I feel like I'm ready to pull the trigger on the studio display, but I don't really got anything
really?
to lose. Oh yeah,
It's a lot prettier. iMac Pro looks a lot more dated compared to the studio display.
Your your dissing on the studio was actually my final push to say that yeah, I can get this one, because the things that you everybody had something nice to say about it, but I was like, I need to understand what the errors are for me never using it, and you be like, here's what I don't like about this stuff. I was like, oh, okay,
Is that all?
No, for what you need in that ecosystem, I'm like, okay, it's sub 2000. I revised my thoughts. I would not get the nano textured matte. I would get the base. I'd probably get the base of the base. I like the idea of having it moving, but I have my desk here doing this, so
it's much cheaper to just put it on a
Move my
box,
desk.
you know. But
Yeah, you got boxes.
cheaper ways.
Put it on your iPads. Put it on the iPad 2, and then put your next iPad
about as
on
good as
there.
the iPad's good for. I've been
You
using
can
the
put
iPad
it on
lately.
the iPhone camera bump, and it'll gain a lot of height that way.
Not the 11.
Yeah,
On the
not
14,
11.
yeah. On the 14,
Are you
you'll
getting
gain an
the
extra 2
14,
inches.
Mike?
Yes, I'm patiently waiting for the 14.
You're the only one.
I'm the only one, and it's gonna be my first 120 hertz display, I think, in this whole entire house, because
Ooh.
the Mini is 60.
You're so close to Kool-Aid. You're gonna
Kool-Aid?
gonna
What?
join me in my buttery smooth religion.
Colt, more like it.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Web of
But
lies, more like it.
Maybe. My only thing, I guess my point against that is, like, the phone deserves, I think, to be 120. You've got that. You're looking at it all the time wherever you go.
everything deserves 120.
Okay, everything deserves 120, but
You're drunk.
Well,
You're drunk with power.
he's drunk with 120 hertz.
He's drunk with
Unlimited.
Promotion.
That's me.
Anyways, I think that's the only thing. I don't know. I don't think I need 120 hertz. Why did I explain that, or why did I draw that out? I don't think I need a 120 hertz display. 120 and
Zero.
Wait, are you
0.0.
getting the
120
normal?
zero.
Are you getting the normal 14? Oh, that's an interesting problem. Huh.
Uh-oh.
Interesting.
What have you done?
Find out
What's
how that
the-
goes.
Oh no!
My iPad has been plugged into my laptop this whole time, and it's still draining battery. I started at 18%. Maybe I should take the Apple Pencil off. I don't know. I started at
No.
18%. It's been plugged in the whole time, and now it's at 8%. So hopefully it doesn't die before the show ends. So I hope it lasts. I'll lower the
Okay, I'll go
brightness.
quick then. Where are we at?
I think it's good. But
iPhone
which
14.
14 Pro? The smaller one?
The mini.
Oh yeah, there's 2 Pros. There's the regular Pro and then the Max. I
Yeah.
will go for the regular. I do not need. Already, this is the smallest bump of cameras that Apple has made in this new lineup of triple lenses. I don't need
Yep.
something that's going to be significantly thicker and then have a thicker sensor on top of that. I think
Yes,
I'll
You're
be
gonna
fine
hate.
with a Pro.
You're gonna hate it.
That's my only
better learn.
apprehension with upgrading
Look at
is
that
that
thing.
everything has just become thicker and heavier, and
Hang on.
I enjoyed my 5S. It was nice. It was fantastic. Your commentary. The 5S
There was no
was
camera bump.
no, there's no camera bump, but like it felt nice and light in my hand. This thing, after a while, gets tired. Like my pinky starts to die after a while, which I guess is good because it means that I
Ooh.
should probably stop staring at the phone. So the 14
You
is
think
only
the
going to
11 Pro
ensure
is
that
heavy.
I'm not looking at it anymore. Okay, Mr. 13 Pro Max, the biggest brick that Apple's ever made.
Should see the cutout in my pinky. Look at this. It's a real thing. Have you seen that? Like people have measured it. Like in the age of smartphones, there's more of a divot in people's pinkies now.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
It's literally.
Oh my
carvable.
God.
Okay, so it's a real thing. Yeah.
Oh
it, like,
God.
carves out people's fingers. As we evolve,
Dude.
we're gonna have a bigger and bigger divot in our pinky. I can feel it.
Right here in front of all of you, I'm about to go back to the 13 mini. I can't. My
Okay,
beautiful
here's my
hands.
question. Mike said I don't need 120, and I don't like thick camera bumps, and I don't like heavy phones. Why not go for the regular 14 instead of the Pro?
Because I need the 3 camera sensors because I like it. I like being able to have 0.5, 1, and it used to be 2, but now it's like 3 or whatever. I don't know what it is now, but I like
So you
having.
don't know what it is?
What I would do is if Apple made a camera, I would buy that camera and then buy the lowest grade iPhone, like whatever the lightest
That
one is.
one. Well, what you just said, that's I'm right there with you. Yes.
Because they make pretty good camera sensors, and I love it for
But Mike,
point and shoots
that's
and all
why you
that.
need to get the Pro Max because of what you said.
Why do I need a brick?
Bro,
No, I
I'm
don't
right there
need a
with
brick.
you. I'm right
Bro,
there with
no.
you. If they made a camera, I would give them ungodly amounts of money for the camera. However, this is their camera. And
Yeah.
I don't look at the Pro Max like a phone. I look at it as a camera that also texts. So that's how I behave
What
with
it is
it.
now.
I've regretted not holding on to the 13 Pro Max the first time around because I was so impressed with the battery. The battery life alone, it gets, I end a day at 35 on average, 40. 30, and
I
even
charge
today's
3
even
times a day.
today I haven't even used it once, and I'm at 74. Yeah,
I usually
74.
end the day above 50% on mine. It's pretty amazing.
I have to insist if camera is your driving force and you need the 3 camera array, I have to insist as your friend to get the Pro Max to get you the best screen real estate and the best battery performance for your camera system.
I might as well just put this in my pocket.
that camera's
Yeah.
trash. I'm
Do
sorry,
it.
that camera's trash.
I agree. I can do it. It's in the pocket right now.
It's in the pocket. No,
It's in
I'm
there.
worried about you getting the regular
it
14
goes.
Pro because there's already MagSafe accessories that aren't working with the 13 Pro regular. And
Yeah, but we
the
don't
14
know where the placement of the cameras is going to be on the 14.
We know.
It won't interfere. It won't interfere with
don't
MagSafe.
know. We
That's a
don't-
booming.
will.
They can move
things.
MagSafe down.
They're already showing, like, the case manufacturers are saying the bump on the 14 Pro is even bigger than the 13 Pro. It's going
Yeah, I
to eat
agree.
into the MagSafe even further. And you are already using MagSafe Duo with a non-MagSafe iPhone. I would feel so heartbroken if you had to deal with the 11 Pro and MagSafe and then went straight to the 14 Pro and that didn't work with your MagSafe either.
Well, the nice thing is that my wife has a regular 13 and a regular MagSafe puck. So if that's the case, we just switch MagSafe charging devices so that way I get her individual, Apple Watch charger and phone charger, and then she gets to
the
enjoy
Duo.
MagSafe Duo. Yeah. We future-proofed it inadvertently.
I'm just worried you're not going to like it.
Okay, here. If there is a special hook on the 14 that makes it a better camera in some way or has some better feature that makes it stand out above the 14 Pro regular besides being bigger, I'll consider it. But I
Me and
want a
Randy are
smaller
on
phone.
opposite sides.
What you mean? Wait, why?
Randy's saying Pro Max. I'm saying get a non-Pro. I'm saying don't get
No,
the steel
listen.
one.
Mike already made up his mind about the camera, and I get it.
I think
he's-
you would be
he's made up his
shocked
mind.
by how little you miss the telephoto lens if it was gone. Personally,
As someone who's
That's my
right there
prediction.
using the Mini with you and not having a telephoto for a year, you are right. I did not need it as much as I much as I thought I would have, but
I did not miss it. It was gone, and I didn't care.
I use it for plenty of things. Ultra wide is 100% the more efficient out of the 2 camera array, and that's why Apple went with ultra wide for the
Yeah.
non-pros, because you get more information recorded than you do
It's
something
a new
just zooming in.
perspective. Telephoto
Yeah.
is an enhancement, not a new perspective.
I would
you
say
pinch.
I would go a step further. Then let me try to put myself in your shoes, Drew. I'm gonna pull a Drew thing here. I would go a step further. Neither am I. These puppies are tired.
Oh, dear Lord.
So
Well,
is that what I'm smelling? Let me take it a step further. I would say after
showing
the
my feet.
14s come out, get a 13 mini. lightest, cheaper.
Love it. Great idea. It'll be
I would do
$100
it.
cheaper. Then the extra money you save can go towards Netflix stock.
Now stop with the Netflix.
He's
I'm already
dead.
bleeding.
He's dead. All the blood is gone. You
Stop
stomped it
hurting
out of
me.
him.
Listen. On the whole stocks thing, screw Robinhood officially. They can
I'm off Robinhood
They can-
too. I finally transferred
burn in
over
the
to
depths of
Vanguard
hell that
and
they came from.
I realized I also
Yay.
have Fidelity, so I'm on both
Congrats.
Fidelity and Vanguard. So
Same.
Wow.
Same.
I get the best
That's
of both
awesome.
worlds.
I have a hybrid model.
Goodbye, Robinhood.
I'm using both platforms for different reasons. And
Glad I inspired you.
I've had those accounts already once before. I just reactivated them. Sorry, Drew. I can't give that one to you. Like
inspired
Mike,
you to reactivate
companies
them.
companies paid for them, so it was there. I was like,
No,
ew,
I love your
Geico.
idea though. I think the
Geico.
13 mini will be sold well into the end of the year, and it'll be $100 less than it is now. You'll be able to get
talking-
it for.
I'm talking for myself. I won't get the green. I'll get the product red. I love that color too much. I already got my
Oh, I
perfect
would
green.
too.
I would get product
would
red.
get
I want
the
that
red.
Ferrari looking red. Oh my goodness, that's a beautiful crimson red. I've
want a brown one.
I've had
Give me a brown
brown one.
Brown one. Why not?
mean a leather
So
case,
14
right?
already. The 14 has nothing going on already besides just having a bigger camera sensor. Just make it brown. Go all in on how much of an S year this is.
You don't need to. The Starlight is basically brown already.
This is not
so-
brown.
Drew,
This is
you
nowhere
shut
close
your
to
mouth.
brown.
That's
Look
a
at this
beautiful
thing.
gold. I love that color.
This is gold. Look
You
at
got
this
the
thing.
right one, Mike. That's the
This is
exact
the-
mini I was using.
It's a
love that
great
color.
iPad. This is not
Same
brown.
mini I was using.
This is
Did you
nowhere
get Starlight?
Yeah.
How dare you call it brown?
It's
canceled.
brown. It's brown.
No,
Dare you?
not even close.
I think another prediction. I don't know if we've made
How
this
dare you
one
accuse
before.
me of standing on the graves? How dare you?
How dare you stand where he stood?
He stood. I think the iPhone 13 regular will be discontinued when the 14 comes out.
Ooh, are we doing
They'll
that? Are we
keep
doing
the mini.
predictions?
They'll
Write
keep
it
the
out.
mini, but not the 6.1 inch one because the iPhone 14 regular is way too similar.
All
From
I
what
have
we've
is
heard,
from you 15 to 20% more for M2. So are we adding another?
I'm writing
Yes.
this out. So we have right
I
now
think the 13
no
and 14
11s,
are
right?
way too similar.
13. So we for sure have 13. We have 12. We have 11, right? And that's where it stops. Then we have SE.
SE3 11 will
SE
definitely be gone.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too old and it's not 5G. So they don't have the they don't want to make it much longer.
Is the new SE Gen 3 5G?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, for
That
sure.
was the
11,
whole-
11's gone.
Yeah. That was the whole point of the SE3. It was just 5G. That's all that's doing.
I'm
Here's
here
my
to kill you.
prediction.
Damn.
Because the iPhones, the 13, not the 13, but the 12s, are they still selling the Pros or is it just regular?
Nope. Pros never last more than a year. It's always been
Okay.
the 12 and 12 mini are still being sold, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I think the regular 12 might stick around. Maybe the 12 mini, but I could understand why they get rid of the 12 mini and just keep the 13 mini as the only mini. But the one I'm confused on is the 6.1 inch 13. That has so much in common with the 6.1 inch 14. I don't see them both being sold alongside each other.
We said that about the 13 and the 12, and they stuck them around.
But there's even less changes than that this time.
No, there's gonna be
They're not
software
upping the chip.
exclusivities. It's just gonna be software stuff.
It's the A15 chip on both, the same notch on both, same display on both, same
But
camera.
one of
on
them's
both.
gonna have the better astrophotography camera, or what? They're gonna find a way to say this is proprietary to the 14. I guarantee that. Because
So you
here's
just you think they'll sell both alongside?
Let's take a step back further. Tim Cook is a supply chain guy. He is going to run up his body chassis to make the most money out of it, which is why I think both minis will stick around, and both OG form factors will also stick around with the boxy design. They will definitely do.
Would
away
that be
with
the
11.
most iPhones that you can buy new on their website then? Like ever?
Say again?
Sorry. Would that be the most iPhones that you could buy at the same time? Like new from Apple?
Yes. We're already there, and every year it increases.
Yeah, every year. I think we've increased that each year because just by that 4 model.
It used to be just 10R and then just 11, but now it's 12 and 12 mini, 13 and 13 mini.
Yeah.
I need a
Pros.
Yeah.
We need to purge some of these iPhones.
I feel like the 12 mini could be discontinued if the body chassis. But that's the thing. They say it's 2 different body chassis for the 12 and the 13 mini. So even that would stick around. They're going to have to find a way to use up that.
I think the reason is the 12 mini OLED panel is too expensive. They can't knock another $100 off it. So they would rather just keep making the 13 mini. But the reason I agree with you that Tim Cook is a supply chain expert is by not continuing to sell the iPhone 13, they don't have to discount that component. You keep making... You call it the 14 now. You use the same A15 chip. You use the same cameras. You use the same display. You use the same parts. You brand it as 14 and mix up the colors a little bit and sell it at the exact same price. So you don't have to discount anything. You continue selling your most popular model at the same price for another year instead of before where they had to discount them $100 after a year.
I'm predicting brown is coming. That's my prediction.
Saddle brown.
That's my what? Yeah, saddle brown. Why not? They have a whole activity thing for like horse riding. Why not add a saddle brown phone?
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep,
I
am 100%.
Mike sleeps.
I would know everything. It makes
I-
sense. I live in the Bay. So of course, me and Tim Cook are buds. He tells me
He is
every single
physically
day.
the closest to Apple out of all of us.
I drive by it every day.
There you go.
The giant donut in the sky. That's not really floating either. The one where
Donut in the
employees.
sky that is on the ground.
I learned recently that employees cry if they have to leave that donut. Like if they have to move to like another location, employees cry. They have to physically be removed by security because they do not want to leave. Like Apple Park is that special to Apple employees.
This sounds like
Jokes on that.
propaganda.
It does sound like can't
That's
miss
why I
it if
think-
you never went. According to someone I know, they're like, were you at the park? And that person was like, nope, they had me in a different building the whole time. But every time they went over there for like happy hour drinking activities, Apple throws down, I hear. They go hard with the parties. Oh.
Google can also throw down too. From
Which
whatever.
one?
Tim Cook.
Google? Yeah, I would Tim Cook doing like, go Auburn. I don't know what his mascot is for Auburn. Go
Well,
Auburn.
anyways, that's
Wow.
that's my prediction. My only prediction is brown. Brown something.
Okay.
Whether it's the
Wow.
case is too easy, so it has to be a brown colored phone or iPad or
Okay.
something.
What phones do we think will be killed off? That's what I want to ask.
11 for sure.
Yeah, that's easy.
Oh man, that's easy. Okay, fine. Let's get a little
The
tricky.
Pros, is that
Pros?
obvious?
Yeah, kill the pros.
13 Pros are gone. The best phone ever.
The best
Yeah.
phone ever will not be the best.
You could build a house out of that phone.
I would say
Surf a wave on that phone.
I'm trying to see your logic before I really get in there. The 13 and the 12 side by side, competing with the 14 regular side by side, and the 14 Max. Maybe they. Oh, that doesn't make sense though. That wouldn't make sense. Maybe they just remove those lines. You know, like
Which ones?
maybe they just. I'm thinking because the new layout will be regular Max, regular Pro, Pro Max, and So you got two small ones or two regular ones, two max ones, no minis. So because you're gonna have two regular ones, definitely the Pro 13 Pros are gone, both of them, and the 13 regular would have to get killed off, but that's.
I feel like not too many are going to get killed off only because we have like the Apple refurbished program now.
Yo, wouldn't it be
They have an incentive to keep them around.
If they cut off the 13 and kept the 12s, I would be ticked.
That'd be great.
I'd be so mad.
I don't see the 13 mini going away, personally.
I hope not. For selfish reasons, I hope not.
They probably have too much inventory of it anyway. You know,
Ooh, good.
Apple seems to always surprise us with things they keep around for a while. So, if anything, that's
Joke's on us. They keep the 11 around.
That would be quite a plot twist.
I lived.
Two LCD panels still exist for no reason.
I could see the 6.1 inch 12 selling for $600. They keep that one around another year, just to be the lower priced but still premium, OLED iPhone. 12 mini, I don't know if it has enough overhead to go down another 100, so that's the only reason I think the 12 mini might go away. But 13, you're right. I guess you're right that they would have to go heavy into software exclusives on the 14 if they do.
They would have to do the 14. If this is the year that we get like the VR headset thing, then that's definitely going to be 14 proprietary. But I'm trying to think like outside the box here. That what other things are going to complement the 14 that maybe haven't been out yet? That'd be like you have to have a 14, and that's what makes it stand out from the 13.
You might have a point because they're rumored to get Wi-Fi 6E.
Oh,
the 14s will have Wi-Fi 6E, but not the 13s. But I don't think the headset's coming out this year. So
right.
The
I just
Apple
think that
glove. I don't know.
I'm predicting they're just going to slightly tweak the iPhone 13 assembly line and then call it 14. Call it a day.
Yeah. Bigger
It would
camera.
be the first time they did that. Hey, we'll go back to some roots that we're returning to some roots of repurposing. Was it the 5s? Shoot, and the 6s, but definitely the 5s with the 5S, 5C thing, and they just repurposed the guts and called it something else, but made it look different. 5 to 5C.
It's an S year. It's
Same
just
thing.
another S year, but with 14s.
Yeah.
Assuming that they're called 14s. We've been assuming this whole time they're called 14s, right?
We have.
There's no confirmation. They could be the 13Ss.
Although
The
there was no
iPhones to be
12S.
released in 2022, fall of 2022. My predictions are as followed. Whatever I just said, because I need to. I need to sit on that. I need to sit. I'm not married to this idea. That's tricky because it's we're getting new form factors. So that throws
Not
a
really.
new.
I mean, kind of, but
It's getting a tad bit bigger.
They're getting bigger.
the Max is kind of a new form factor in a way.
Yo, what they don't call it? They call it 14 plus.
I
we
haven't
get
seen
4
Apple
cameras.
use S in a while, so I'm pretty sure they're done with S years because every year is an S year now. So every year is incremental minor changes, so they don't want to do S because then you would have to keep doing S's.
What was the last S?
10S.
With the
4 years
10?
ago,
The 10S.
The
and then the 10R.
XS.
which they got rid of the 10 in less than a year because the 10S was too similar. So I'm predicting a similar thing with the 14 and 13. It's just they're too similar, so they're gonna, unless they do some software exclusive, which is totally like Apple anyway. They would. I think you're gonna be spot on. They're gonna do astrophotography on the 14, and you can't do it on the 13.
Yeah.
It's the same chip. It's the same chip.
Can you add that to the 13? What? What?
The what?
No. It's too old. It's the same chip. No, it's too old. You can't do it.
There's not enough transistors.
That's the plan. No,
Everybody's competing with that low light photography right now, so Apple has a way to shut everybody up with using software. And they're like, here we go. Here's what we got it.
It really needs that extra GPU core. That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's like
More AR.
less binned A15 is what the 14 is getting. So it's ticking a bunch of people off, but I think it makes perfect sense for Apple. People will still buy it. It's not a big deal.
Nope.
In my
Apple's doomed. Apple's doomed.
We're all doomed, Randy. Especially with our Netflix stock. And with that.
And with that, what a send off.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Hope you all have an excellent rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Peace.